engagement, as well as boosting morale. So this is, like I said, a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and it's a guide for you guys because I've been on both sides of the coin. I've been on both sides of the coin. I have been on the side where I was around a toxic environment, and then I've also been that person who felt toxic. Can I be honest? Can I keep it like 100? I felt toxic. I felt like I was a toxic employee. And so when you have those feelings and when you experience that as a manager or the person involved, both are affected, both are impacting the workload, both are impacting the team environment. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. So on our agenda is number one, our company story, what Fresh Talent Solutions is all about, and just understanding toxicity in the workplace, strategies and the techniques to even manage, something like that. We're also going to talk about enhancing employee engagement and morale, and we're going to give you some bonus tips for encouraging participation and optimizing efficiency. And then we'll leave you a couple of moments at the end so that you can ask any questions. And like I said before, welcome in on Instagram. And if you desire to join us live, all you have to do is click the link that's in the bio on Instagram's page, Fresh Talent Solutions. Okay. All right, let's keep it going. So my story, I should say our story. So Talent Sources embarked on this journey as basically a recruiting and career development company. We were dedicated to connecting talented people with fulfilling jobs, fulfilling careers, also while nurturing their professional growth with the career development. Now, evolving, we went through what I believe is our evolution. Through our evolution over time, we transformed into a global talent development and performance management company, a powerhouse, okay? We now call Fresh Talent Solutions. And so our evolution really just signifies a broadened focus beyond just recruitment. I always say I used to identify as a recruiter. I don't identify as a recruiter anymore. But just beyond recruitment, and now just encompassing the comprehensive development and optimization of talent. So that's our biggest focal point, is talent. Is there another phone that we can use? My phone, so I can jump. It's upstairs, so she can get it. All right, so I'm juggling, y'all. But so that's it. So that's our core focus, just cultivating talent development and just fostering team cohesion. Like, that is truly what we're all about, okay? All right, so moving on, let's keep going. I want us just to jump right in, okay? So what is toxic? Okay, what does that mean? Let's start by just defining what we mean by toxicity in the workplace. So typically, and now this is just a couple of traits. There are tons of traits that you can find in a toxic person. But toxic employees, they normally exhibit behaviors that negatively impact the work environment. So what does that look like? Negativity and pessimism. So that person is constantly expressing negativity, constantly complaining. I can say that when I was on the other side of this, and I had some challenges that I encountered when I was in corporate America before I left corporate America in 2018, I had a toxic trait of complaining. I was complaining. I was not happy about a lot of different things that were going on in my culture, in my environment, on my team. And I didn't know how to really move with it. I was just so frustrated from a lack of feeling heard. Okay. Did you look on my desk? Go look on my desk, honey. It's really important. Okay. All right. So trying to find this extra phone, y'all, so we can get things set up properly. But anywho, so the next thing is lack of accountability, right? You guys know who I'm talking about. Hey guys, welcome in. Thank you for joining. We are on live on another stream. So if you want to join that stream, you can join that by clicking the link in the bio. So anywho, but the lack of accountability, it was avoiding responsibilities for mistakes. It was the types of employees that were blaming other people, right? They failed to meet certain commitments, so they were blaming other people and even undermining the team cohesion and hindering the progress, and just fostering a culture of finger pointing, right? So that's lack of accountability. Anybody know anybody like that? Because I sure I wasn't that person. The one thing I did do was take accountability for my actions. However, I definitely experienced on the other side of this individuals who did not, you know, individuals who simply did not. So that's just something to think about. And yeah, the next one is micromanagement. So micromanagement is basically, it's that toxic person or trait that's just insisting on controlling everything, right? Every aspect, it doesn't matter. They're critical of their work, your work, everybody's work, okay? And they don't know how to let things go. You know, someone said, hey, come on, add such and such to your team, bless you. Add such and such to your team, add such and such to do this. And they're like, no, I'm not going to do that because blah, 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 whatever their reason is. So the next one is gossiping and conflicting instigation. So we know quite easy what that even looks like. So when someone is gossiping, what are they doing? They are engaging in office gossip, spreading rumors, instigating, it's the person who is just like, they're creating tension because they have fractured relationships, right? They're the ones who they're the ones who literally go at it with everybody, and they always have something to say about somebody, right? Hey, welcome in. And so that's that type of person. Okay. Let's see here. We're gonna keep moving. Resistance to change. That's the person that's inflexible. They are inflexible. Sorry, I'm turning this off. Okay. They are inflexible. You can, yeah. And they just don't want to change. And they even have hostility towards organizations, right? So what we're talking about tonight is toxic employees. And if you work with some on both ends, whether you're the manager of a toxic employee or if you're the person who is the toxic employee, can I say that I've been both? I have been both. And if you want to see the screen that we're teaching from tonight, you can click the link in Fresh Talent Solutions bio. Okay, so go to Fresh Talent Solutions, click the bio. You can see the screen that I'm teaching off of tonight, and you can interact with some of us. But yeah, so the next one is lack of engagement. A toxic trait is someone who doesn't want to engage, right? And you know those people, they demonstrate that disinterest, towards any type of assignments, any type of task, any type of meetings, any type of team collaboration. They are the ones who just, they don't want to do anything. And when team members are not fully engaged, you guys, it can create a ripple effect. And most of my clients, they experience that ripple effect that affects the overall team performance and team cohesion. So now we know what toxicity is in the workplace, right? We get it. We understand. So if you're a small business, if you're a mid-sized business, heck, if you are even a ministry, like it doesn't matter if you have a team or if you're connected to a team, this is a webinar for you. Like this is what you need to really understand and learn, okay? So we talked about the toxic trait. Let's talk about the impact, right? Because a lot of times when you're in the thick of it, you don't think about what the real impact is. You don't even understand what the true impact is. And so the impact of toxicity on a team's morale and productivity, it can be profound, right? It can be profound. And so it can lead to a lot of different negative consequences. So we're going to talk about 4 of those. And like I said, hey, Tyra, like I said, if you guys want to join us on our actual Google meet, you just join us by clicking the link on Fresh Talent Solutions bio on Instagram. So that's where the link is. So anywho, first part is decreased motivation and engagement. So we know negativity, gossip, micromanagement, all those things lead to team members feeling demotivated, disengaged, right? So for example, if someone's constantly criticizing or gossiping about colleagues, that can create a level of distrust, right? And it can lead other employees to disengage from their work and become less invested, right? So when you have an employee, you don't want them to be in that type of environment. The other part that a toxic employee can play in your team, on your team, however you want to call it, is increased turnover. So if you start to see that you cannot keep people, like you constantly turning over people, constantly having people call out, constantly like, oh, I can't come in today. I don't feel like it, blah, blah. If a team member is constantly undermining others, that creates a conflict and it drives those valuable people away. If you've ever been on the team and they're spending so much time addressing the negativity in the room that you feel like you're overlooked, that's a part of increased turnover and absenteeism, because you're like, you know what, let me find another job, right? So it works on both ends. So toxic workplaces definitely have experienced by statistics a higher rate of attrition and absenteeism, because employees just don't want to be where they're feeling stressed or in confrontational situations all of the time, right? So the third team impact for a toxic person that's on the team is reduced innovation and creativity. This one right here is one that we overlook all of the time. Why? Because, for instance, if a team leader is consistently micromanaging other people, just not being connected to what's going on, it can create a culture even of like fear and conformity. Like people are just like, they want to come to work and not be extra stressed. We already got deadlines and everything else to do, but they don't want to be additionally stressed. So this stifling happens because creativity feels hindered, right? The organization's ability to help them, they feel helpless. They feel like, why y'all not looking out for me? why are you guys not looking out for me? So it reduces their innovation and it reduces creativity. Okay. Last team impact is poor communication. Poor communication, which ultimately means bad collaboration anyways. But if you're an employee, if you're a person, you have a small business and you're saying to yourself, okay, a lot of people just are not stepping up to the plate. Nobody wants to collaborate. Well, you have to look and see, what are you putting out or what are you not addressing that makes your team feel resistant to do those things, right? So those are the ways that a toxic employee can impact, okay? Can impact the team. You okay? Okay, so I'm juggling, y'all, being mommy and being everything else. So moving on with just what I just talked about, okay, I want you guys to take a moment and just think about it. Do any of these traits that I mentioned resonate with your current team? Like, is anyone on your current team toxic? Do you feel like you've managed individuals that sound like what I just mentioned before? Like, think about that. Let that sit for a second. And now I want you to think about why. Because what I told you guys in the beginning, I have been on both sides of the field. I have been a manager of a toxic employee, and then I've also been a toxic employee. And that's hard to admit, but I have to keep it real, because that's how I can understand both sides of the coin. So why so toxic? Why was this person toxic? Well, let's look at the challenges that they had to face. So think about it. If you're in a toxic work environment, And if you're the person that's toxic, why is this person toxic? This person didn't start off in the company as this toxic person, right, guys? Like, we gotta use our big brains that this person is not just waking up and just was like, okay, I'm gonna be toxic today. Let's do it. No, they encountered some challenges, and for whatever reason, they never quite learned how to resolve them. They never quite learned how to create solutions. Okay. So why so toxic? Number one, lack of clarity. Period. That's a huge, huge, huge thing, especially in small businesses. If you are a small business or a startup, and those are normally my clients, just being unclear about certain things and just having that lack of clarity. It's like, what am I supposed to be doing? What did you say? Like, you said one thing this day and then now you've changed it to something else. I don't understand. I'm confused, right? So lack of clarity, even lack of clarity on the role. So you have a role that you initially signed in for, and the next thing you know, that manager is like, oh, by the way, you're going to be doing this. And by the way, I know I didn't add you as a salesperson, but you're going to be reaching out and doing some business development too. Oh, and by the way, I actually need you. That can bring a challenge. So you have to know, even as a manager, how to inch those extra duties in and how to frame it as an increase or as a promotion, right? Instead of saying, no, this is all a part of your job. This is all a part of what you're supposed to do. That's how you get a toxic employee. Okay. These are small businesses and startups that encounter this all of the time when they're trying to build their team. The other part is poor leadership. So poor leadership happens because there's no training, right? You get a leader that comes into place because he's a startup person, he's a founder of a company. He just, he never may have never even gone into corporate America before, but he had this great idea and his business is booming. So what happens when you're that person? You have this great idea, your business is booming, but you've never been through a leadership training, but you just seen stuff and you just know stuff and you know how to make money. Well, that making money and leadership are two totally different things. Somebody say two totally different things, okay? Making money and being a leader are two totally different things. So cultivate leadership that is open, communicative, and fostering a positive environment. That's a strong leader. And people are toxic sometimes because they have to come against a poor leader. So leadership training can definitely be beneficial. Okay, unclear roles. Listen. So unclear roles, it goes back to the first point I made about lack of clarity in your position. If you get a position and they're telling you, oh, okay, well, you only have to do this. Well, actually, now you're going to have to do this. Well, such and such just left the company, so now you're going to have to do this. That can breed or yield a toxic employee. Okay. So we don't want that. What's another challenge? Lack of recognition. This is huge, especially with our small businesses. So small business owners and even startup tech owners, sometimes the mindset is we got to get this MVP out. We got to get this out. We got to keep going. We got to. And what about what your team is experiencing, what your team has already accomplished? What about that? So the lack of recognition and reward can 1000% yield a toxic person, a toxic professional, right? So overload and burnout. This is good because it happens to the best of us. Even some of the best companies in the world can experience some toxic employees that end up being pretty much toxic because of burnout. And it's not their fault all the time. I hate to say that. Sometimes overload and burnout is the person who turned into a toxic employee. It's their fault. You're like, well, they got all of this on their plate. No. There's power in the word no. There's power in the word you know what? It seems like I have a lot that I'm juggling. Is it possible that we can delegate this or X, Y, Z, or how can we do something to make this workload not so burnout? So reasonable work hours is important. So that means even as a leader, so you as a leader, when you're managing these employees that are toxic, as a leader, you have to remember that if you send a message, an email at 9 p.m. at night, and they see it some kind of way, they're automatically feeling like I have to respond. So you have to make sure, and here's one really easy tip. At the end of your email signature, you can say something like, please do, if this email was sent to you after work hours, please note, I do not expect you to respond after work hours. Please respond during normal work hours. This is, you do not have to respond, because the manager is on a different timing. Managers normally have a salary, they're not hourly, so they're probably working sun up to sundown, and that's fine by them if that's how they want to do it. But you as a professional who's trying to guard your heart from being a toxic employee, you want to make sure that you have reasonable work hours. So you want to implement those policies that prevent workload burnout, work hours, support for mental well-being, just all of those things. So let's go into some solutions, since that's what we're here about, right? We're here to talk about solutions. And welcome to the call. If you guys want to see my screen of what I am actually teaching, please go to the link in Fresh Talent Solutions bio. So you go to that link and you're able to jump in with us and talk one-on-one. Okay. So next up is the solutions. So here's the thing. With the solutions, there's tons of solutions for all of these toxic challenges, okay? To prevent someone from becoming toxic and to be the prescription for those who have been diagnosed as toxic. So the first thing is trainings and workshops. That's what I do. That's what Fresh Talent Solutions does. Number two is feedback and open dialogue. We're going to talk about that in just a second, because you got to be direct. You got to be real. You got to have that open dialogue. And you have to foster that, because in the work environment, if everyone feels like if they say something, people are going to, get fired or get yelled at, they don't want to say anything. Another one is leadership accountability. We talked about those poor leaders. Sometimes they yield a toxic employee. So if they're poor in leadership, how can we make them accountable? How can we make leaders accountable? All right, next up is employee assistance programs. Can I keep it real? Every employee is not balling out of control. I know you guys think every time payroll hits that they're out somewhere balling out of control with the money that you get. No, a lot of them have a lot of responsibilities, and just economically, pricing, inflation, it has gone up to another level. So guess what that means for them? They may need some assistance. Maybe it's assistance in financial management. Maybe it's assistance in credit building. Maybe it's assistance in just time management in general. But whatever the case may be, offering, or mental health, offering employee assistance programs is so key to not having the toxic employees. Okay. Next up, hey guys, welcome in. If you want to join the actual live that I'm on here, you can on YouTube, or you can go to the Google Meet link that is on the bio in Fresh Talent Solutions. Okay. But thank you guys for joining. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving. What we're talking about here is toxic employees, a toxic work environment, how to manage them, and how to help those who are toxic not become toxic. I told you guys I've been on both sides. So the other solution is intervention and mediation. You cannot hide the problem. A lot of times when people are really strong employees, managers will overlook the toxic traits because they're like, look, I need that person. I don't really care how crazy they are. I don't care how crazy they are. Then this person knows how to do an Excel sheet like no other. So I'm going to keep her or him around. And then other things are just real simple, like team building activities. I mentioned that before. Team building activities are even from a third party that's outside of your organization, can increase the understanding of each team member's gifts, their strengths, and their challenges, and learning how to work together in harmony. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. So real quick, just an overall view on, you guys can see on the screen, those who can see the screen, these are just 3 strategies or techniques to manage toxic employees that I wanted to just throw out to you. Number 1, don't pretend as if it's not there. Give direct communication, because addressing toxic behavior requires a proactive approach, guys. You don't want to just be pretending like it's not happening. So direct communication is key. You want it to be open and honest, okay? Not just honest about who they are, but how they're impacting the team. And you want to be honest about what's going to happen afterwards, what the expectations are. So for example, okay, let's say my husband is the toxic employee. I'm going to put him as the toxic employee. Hey guys, I'm trying to wave at you here on Instagram. So I'll come to him. Hey, Rashad, I wanted to have a quick chat with you about something really important. I've noticed that there's been some issues, some different issues with you, and it's some issues with communication and collaboration with the team lately. And I wanted to get your perspective. I wanted to get your perspective on it. It seems like there may be some tension, and I want to make sure we're all on the same page, right? I want to make sure that everyone is in sync. And so Rashad may say, well, I'm tired of everybody asking me to do these Excel spreadsheets. I didn't sign up for this, like that's his response. Okay. So me as the manager, because I'm helping the managers out, I'm helping the small businesses out, small business owners out. I'm helping the people who are now trying to elevate their business and hire on a team. Let me help you keep teammates by not quickly firing them, but learning how to do this right here, this direct communication. So they'll say something like, I'm tired of this, or, I'm just having to struggle with XYZ. Okay, listen, do not talk over them, please. And so you want to say, okay, I appreciate your honesty. I really do. I want to be transparent with you that your behavior has been negatively impacting the team's morale and productivity. And just truthfully, Rashad, moving forward, I like for us to work together. I don't want you to feel like this is a you issue. I want us to work together to address these issues and find some type of constructive ways to improve our team dynamic. So can we discuss some strategies like that, to move forward? Can we discuss that? Now, here's the point where Rashad has the choice to say, heck no. Or he has the choice to say, oh, it died. Or he has the choice to say, I'm open. We can discuss it. Because at this point, you have to realize nobody likes to be caught on the carpet. So you have to be, as a manager, as a leader, you have to be sensitive to that. You can't be like, well, I replace you as soon as you hit the driveway. No, let's calm down. Let's listen. Let's talk. Okay. So if you can get that buy-in, that they're open to discuss, then those solutions can come into the forefront. So a solution can be coaching. We're so quick to fire employees, even as small business owners. In the beginning, can I raise my hand? In the beginning, that was me. In the beginning of my journey as an entrepreneur and a professional, I was just like, no, I'm not tolerating that. I'm not tolerating that. She has to go. So I was quick to want to let people go because my tolerance level, because my leadership had not been developed. Can I keep that? Can I be real? My leadership had not been developed properly. So coaching is another option. So providing coaching and support to toxic employees can help them understand the impact of their behavior and develop the skills needed to change it. So this can involve anything from you offering feedback, you setting clear expectations, You providing resources for skill development, not just telling them what they need to do, but providing resources for it. So I'll give you another script. So we got Rashad as the toxic employee, right? So I'm the manager of Rashad. Hey, Rashad, look, I noticed that you've been struggling with what's something I can say? Okay, yes. So, Rashad, I've noticed that you've been struggling with not responding to emails to any of your teammates. The only people that you respond to would be myself as the manager. And I really want to help like walk through this and address it because I believe that, with some guidance and support, you can make some positive changes that will benefit both you and the team because they need to hear from you. They need to know that you're engaged. So let's work together to identify some areas for improvement and develop a plan to really address why you don't feel the need to respond to them and only respond to me. And he'll say, well, they talk about me behind my back. And I know they do. And I don't have time to be fake. This is work, but I still don't have time to be fake at my job. So I'm not going to be fake at my job. Okay. Well, would you be okay with working together to identify areas of compromise of how we can just figure out a way to get past that? Rashad, I mean, okay. Sure. Great. I'm glad to hear that you're open to feedback. Let's start scheduling regular check-ins. There goes your accountability as a leader. Regular check-ins to just track your progress. And we can make some adjustments where we need to, but I'm here. I'm here to support you in every step of the way. Boom. Coaching. Okay. Now, sometimes some of you may say, well, I don't know how to coach. Even as managers, we're not sometimes taught how to coach. I was certainly not taught how to coach. Can I give y'all a story real quick? My first time being a manager, I had one girl that was a referral that I hired, and then another young lady who I interviewed, and I just liked her. She was intelligent, super smart. Now, the girl who was super smart and intelligent, she didn't have the personality of the other hire. The other hire had all the personality in the world. She knew how to talk to people on the phone. But this girl, she only wanted to email people. She never wanted to get on the phone. And that was a part of the position when we first interviewed. And so she's like, well, and she's very quiet and timid. And she's like, well, I don't know. Just talking like that. And so I said, listen. No empathy. I had no patience with this girl. I literally said, listen, okay, you're going to listen to me do these calls, and I need you to do exactly like I do, or you don't have to work here. Which one do you want to keep not doing these calls? She was like, no, I like it here. I'm like, okay, well, then come on, listen to how I'm doing this. Now, here's the thing. As a leader, I had upper management, upper leadership on my neck to produce these numbers. And you're not on the phone. That's a part of recruiting, girl. You better get on this phone. So I was very, I had a love for her, but it was just like, girl, so I know she was scared. She definitely was scared, and she was younger than I was. So it was just crazy. But the point I'm making is I didn't have the training at that time in my life that I have now, and how I help business owners, small business owners, mid-sized managers and leaders to manage their team properly. Okay. So somebody gave me some hearts for that. Thank you. So it's all about growth. It's all about growth. So thank you for those hearts. I appreciate them. So anywho, last part that I want to throw to you guys is establishing accountability. So you have to set those clear expectations and what the consequences are for a toxic behavior. So if you're managing a toxic employee, listen, even if you're managing them in a church environment, can I say this? This applies to ministry work too, okay? This does not really apply to what we're talking about on this other end of corporate. It applies to ministry. It applies to it all. So anywho, you can join if you want to and mute yourself. But anywho, This may involve you implementing some performance improvement plans, documenting certain things, and enforcing disciplinary actions. I know for me as a manager, I never wanted to enforce disciplinary action. I wanted to be the disciplinary. I'm going to tell you blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't necessarily work. It from TN6. I'm sorry. That doesn't necessarily work, right? So here's an example. So we have Rashad, still a toxic employee, right? And so I'm going to talk to him in a way to establish accountability. Okay, so I'm going to say, look, Rashad, it's really important right now for all team members, including yourself, to adhere to our company's policies and standards, and especially our standards of behavior. So, we've had some conversations, and really at this point, moving forward, I just expect from you to demonstrate a better response time when it comes down to your teammates, because they sent several threads and email threads where it says, okay, you gonna join? Hold on. And then you just mute yourself, and then you add the thing to it. You add the audio to it, the headphones added to it, and that way it won't have that feed. Yes, I'll show you why. Just do it. Okay, so anyway, what was I saying to him? Okay, if there are any concerns or challenges along the way, just let me know and I can address that, or we can address them together. Always tell them together. Don't let them feel like they're out by themselves, right? And so mute it. Hold on, guys. Give it to me. There we go. All right. So where was I? So as Rashad is the toxic employee, I'm going to end this call with him by saying this. Listen, if you continue to violate our policies, it will result in disciplinary action. Okay? And I just need to know that you understand where we are now. You get it, blah, blah, blah. See, when it comes to a toxic employee, remember, we're not trying to finger point, accuse, fire, none of that. We're trying to coach them out of it if that's possible. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes a toxic employee is a toxic employee. I just had a startup tech, one of my clients, because, of course, I focus in on small businesses, coaches that are expanding, course creators that are expanding, and startup techs. So my recent startup tech is actually in the cannabis industry. And one of the things that they mentioned, one of the leaders, after I gave them all of these really great ideas, half of them, they said, we did all of this, and this person is still showcasing toxic behaviors. What do you think I should do? Well, have you created a thread, a track record? Do you have a performance improvement plan in place? Okay, all of these things. Okay, you didn't add any disciplinary actions to anything. So that's a little hard to combat when you don't have anything in place. But when you have some of those things in place that I mentioned, it's easier for you to sever ties. Sometimes it's time. Sometimes the season is up for that toxic employee. Sometimes there are certain bridges that they have burnt to a crisp. We talk about the fake toxic employee. I'm pretending like my husband is the fake toxic employee, but being that toxic employee, he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I am accustomed to being toxic now. This is what I do. This is how I breathe. This is how I live when it comes to this company, because you guys have done some things to me, right? And now this is my retaliation forever. Basically, a toxic employee to a point of no return is one that does not know how to forgive. That's the truth. Because your company will be perfect, and things in your company won't always measure up to what they desire. So you have to learn when to sever ties when it comes to a toxic employee as well. Okay. All right. We sat on that for a good minute. We're almost done, y'all. So anyways, So if you're just joining, you can go to Fresh Talent Solutions Instagram and click my link on the bio, and then you can join the conversation with us live here on this good MacBook that I have on this Google Meet and YouTube. Okay, so to enhance employee engagement. So in this segment that we're about to do, we're going to delve a bit deeper into recognizing and harnessing the diverse talents and strengths within your team. Okay, and that's another way to combat toxic behavior and prevent toxic behavior. So one of the tools that I have and I'm certified in is called Predictive Index. And Predictive Index is a powerful instrument for understanding the behavioral dynamics of your team by leveraging behavioral assessment science. Okay. Now on this screen here, for those who are watching, you guys see there's different profiles. And I'm not going to tell you which profile I am. I'll let you guess. So there's a captain, there's an analyzer, there's an adapter, there's a persuader, and then there's a guardian. Okay. And so I'm just going to touch a little bit on one of these. A persuader is someone who's not only driven, but has the innate ability to influence the people that are around them. You always want a persuader on your team, especially if you're a small business trying to build, you want a persuader. Okay. Sometimes you want a persuader more than you want a captain, but that's another story. Anyway, persuaders have a knack for communication, and they're often seen as like just rallying others towards like a common goal of some sort, right? But it's not just what drives them, it's also how others perceive them. So being a persuader means you have a natural magnetism that can either charm others, or it can, quite frankly, turn off people. It can be a little overpowering, right? So welcome to the Instagram chat. So we're on Google Meet. If you desire to be a part of this webinar, you can jump right in for free, no charge, when you go to Fresh Talent Solutions bio and click the link. Okay, guys? So we're talking about toxic employees and how to build your team, how to unlock the potential of your team and dismiss and remove and demolish, come on, some of those toxic traits. Okay, so let's just imagine that we can nurture an environment that truly allows a persuader to shine. So as I mentioned before, some of the characteristics of a persuader, it's all about fostering a space where they can freely express their ideas, a place where their drive to influence is not seen as an annoyance, but is seen as a blessing. I got a story to tell you guys about that. Let me tell you my story real quick as it relates to understanding my gifts, okay? And I worked in a senior level role for a very popular company. I won't say the name of it. And I was told in one of my performance reviews that I was too ambitious. Okay. That rubbed me the wrong way. Here's what the manager said. And he was, to me, very chauvinistic, but that's another story. Okay. Yes, Sean, I'm glad you're loving this content. Yay. So he said that my LinkedIn posts seemed to promote me and not the company. Okay. So again, I'll just tell y'all, I'm the persuader. So I told you guys some traits about the persuader. So just to let you know, I'm the persuader. And so being a persuader, you have a level of influence. Being a persuader, you love to gather people together to accomplish something fun, something cool, something impactful to the earth, things like that. And that was the main thing on my LinkedIn. It wasn't anything weird or anything like that. So anywho, I don't have to tell you guys I left that company. Clearly I did. I have my own business. I left them in 2018. But soon after I left, the company dissolved, and it actually was no longer affiliated with the parent company, which is the big name that you would know. And I don't think that it was me that made it dissolve. However, in their time of transition, me leaving the way that I left with 2 weeks notice. I left proper, on time, no weird stuff. I just was like, it's time for me to But my knowledge wouldn't be easily replaced, but they would try to. They would definitely try to replace me, right? So that's the thing. When you're quick to let go of someone, you have to remember their knowledge level. So there's that grace that you have to have for them, so that, hey, who knows, you could try to resolve some type of issue. The issue wasn't necessarily um, the issue was more personal opinion, and not allowing yourself to be non-biased as a leader. That was the experience that I experienced. I don't believe that he was non-biased in his decision making. But this is where the role of predictive index comes in. It's absolutely golden. It helps us to pinpoint these individual strengths and carve out paths that lead each team member to flourish in their own unique way. So fast forward to what I do now as a consultant, going to different startup techs. Oh my goodness, what is that behind me? How did that happen? That was so cool. I don't even know what that was. But anywho, so it totally threw me off. So anywho, it helps you to flourish in your own way. Okay. So if you have a persuader on your team, you know how to not deal with, but you know how to really, really strengthen them, and how to put them in a place of success instead of competition with leadership. You know what I mean? So that's what we do. We help you identify your behavior science. Who are you behavior wise? And one of the key benefits is to uncover those behavior profiles and influence your team dynamics with that. So we can understand your weaknesses, your strengths, your blind spots, your challenges, potential sources of misalignment, conflict. Just imagine having that at your fingertips. Being able to say, oh, I know that this person is a persuader, so I know that they don't like this, but they do like that. So I gotta make sure my approach is XYZ, right? Being able to do that as a team is amazing. So that's what we're gonna talk about. I wanna give you guys, if you were on here, you can see. So if you have a chance, jump on. I do need a charger. This phone's about to die. Sorry, we should have been set up. One of the biggest wins in fostering a successful team is identifying, like I said, the complementary strengths. What does that mean, complementary? So where I'm weak, you're strong, okay? One of the things with, as you can see here, right next to me is my husband on this screen, and he's a collaborator. I'm a persuader, okay? So my husband, he owns T86. I'm one of the co-founders. I'm the VP of Talent Success, and my goal is to do exactly what a persuader does: rally up the troops, train them, get them ready, get them right, and make sure that we give excellence out into so different things. But I do that to him even as a consulting professional. I consider his company a client of mine too, because I have other clients that I do the same thing for. So with him and his company, this is our team here. And so what you can see is that he is a collaborator, and a complementary strength is this. A lot of times sometimes with collaborators, they don't pay attention to detail. So if you're a collaborator, if I gave you an assessment and your assessment came out that you're a collaborator, a lot of times you don't give a lot of detail. You don't pay attention to detail, but a persuader does. And so one great thing about complementary strengths is where you are weak, I am strong. And so that's what a strong team is about. When you're unlocking your team's true potential, that's what it's about. It's about finding out that if you want to figure out how can I remove the toxicity of what's happening on my team, figure out, there we go, figure out what's happening. Okay, 448. So sorry. Okay, so is my Instagram still working? Okay. I don't know what's going on. Hold on, y'all. Thank y'all for y'all's patience while I try to figure out this stuff. Okay. I think it's okay. But anyway, is it working? I think so. Can y'all see me clear? Just give me a wave or something. Is it? He said it's perfect. That's what I like to hear. And then I still don't trust him, and I'm still doing this. Okay, so you got it? Okay. Hey guys, welcome in. Listen, if you're just now joining, you can go right to Fresh Talent Solutions and you can join the full conversation and see what my whole screen as I'm doing this webinar because I'm almost done. So as you guys can see here on the screen here, this is a vibrant mix of a persuader, a promoter, a captain, a controller, an altruist, an individualist, and a collaborator. And that's a power-packed ensemble. And that's what we do. We help you to understand what type of team you're a part of. And so with me being a persuader in the world of consulting and being a VP of talent success, I rally the team up to do those brainstorming sessions. I get a chance to do what it is I love to do. Promoters that are on the team, they're a part of the creativity. If you're a promoter, you're a part of the creativity, whether it's like a social media campaign or community outreach. A controller who is he's our supervisor, actually. He's our operations supervisor. He is the one that keeps us grounded. He adheres to processes. You need someone like that on your team. It's just like he has these vibrant ideas on organizational structure, organizational goals. So that's the controller that you need. The altruist, I think you need too. And it's a nurturing spirit. It's someone who offers those words of encouragement. They foster a culture of empathy, understanding. And then you have the individualist, and she brings a perspective of that's different. She thinks outside of the box, and you need someone like that too on your team, right? And then of course we have the collaborator, which is Rashad, the founder of T86, and he is the glue. He is the glue that binds us all, right? He facilitates seamlessly with communication. He just fosters a spirit of harmony and cooperation. That is also what you need. And a good leader has those things. And so together, all of us have what Predictive Index considers a bolstering team, which is a team that is resilient, adaptive, and supportive. Okay. And so I gave you guys this example so that you can see how Predictive Index can help you if you're a small business owner or if you're a person who is a leader on a team and you're trying to figure out how to manage these toxic employees. Well, first find out who they are, find out their behavior-oriented profile, and we're able to elevate your team by adding Predictive Index in any part of it, whether it's the hiring stage, whether we're doing the training and development solutions that we talked about earlier, whether it's strategies, to help minimize certain risks, or whether it's creating SOPs and all of that good stuff to figure out like, how can I, where can my person fit in this world of work? We do all of the above, okay? But I don't want you to take my word for it. I put here in the slide a couple of really cool professionals that we've helped before, and they talked about what PI has done for them, what my consulting has done for them, and they've been able to give a new language to how they communicate in their business. Now, these are small businesses and startup techs, right? So it doesn't matter where you fall in that line. If you have a team, you need something like what we offer, which is talent optimization, okay? And that's what talent optimization is all about. It's about helping teams understand how to work together more effectively and just be better together. So if you're a leader, I hope you enjoyed this webinar. If you're just not coming in, you have to hit the replay. Okay, so you can go to Fresh Talent Solutions and get a chance to look at the whole entire webinar and just hear the breakdown of toxic employees, some scenarios, me being very transparent and honest about my role. And I was a toxic employee and I've managed toxic employees. So I've been on both sides and I have that experience under my belt to be able to help and assist you. Okay. All right. So last but not least, it's time for you to get a one-on-one session with me. So you have the chance to win a free one-on-one session with me. And here's the thing about my one-on-one sessions that I love is the fact that, number one, I give it to you complimentary if you're on this webinar, but number two, you really get a chance, you get a sneak chance to get all the information about you as a leader. So I'm not just telling you how to deal with your teammates and how to manage your team accordingly. I'm not just showing you team cohesion and performance coaching. I'm helping you become a better leader. I'm showing you some areas, after you take my assessment, I'm showing you some areas that you may be blind to, because some of us, let's just face it, we're not aware of some of our challenges. We're not aware of some of the things that make us toxic in the workplace. And so me giving you this assessment for free is what's going to help you. So if you are on Instagram, you're going to get a link in just a second to help you to come over and take this survey. Just DM me for the survey link. But we are going to post it here in this Google Meet, right? So this link is going to be posted in the Google Meet, and yay, there we go. So the link is posted in the Google Meet, and it's going to be posted to you guys as well over there in Instagram land. Just DM us for the link, and you get a free opportunity, a complimentary opportunity to get a one-on-one with me and learn what kind of leader you are and learn how you can become a better leader and how you can manage your team more effectively. And so that's it. No matter what stage you're in, startup, tech, small to medium-sized businesses, VP, leader, manager, etc., church leader, they're also included. So if you just have a team that you're connected to, this is the right survey for you. This is the right assessment for you. Okay. All right. I'm going to open up for questions. We have about 2 minutes for questions. If you have a question, go ahead and let us know now. Any question about toxicity in the workplace, any question about even building yourself up to become a better leader, that is what I am going to answer today. Or just any question about your career development in general, I'm happy to answer. Hey. Yep. Hey. I'm sorry. I didn't get a chance. I didn't even see those come in. But yes, so any questions? Are you guys good? Now we got 1 minute left. So I want to make sure I answer all the questions. All right. It looks like I got all the questions going. So that's it. I enjoyed you guys. Make sure you check out the replay on Fresh Talent Solutions and DM me if you want a free one-on-one session on how to become a better leader and receive an assessment complimentary from us. Okay. Have a blessed night. And thank you guys so much for joining. Oh, did I miss the?